Hi and welcome to match 6, the final match in the UK Premiership League 2 um, tournament here at HADO Arena Coventry. Our final two teams are the Fighting Mongooses and the Warwick University team, Where's My Fridge? As ever, we're in our 7-game format. As shown on the graphic here. If you want to know more about how this works, more in depth into each of these rounds, tactics, ideas, and concepts behind them, please check out our video explaining how it all works. With that said, let's get into the game. So we have the Fighting Mongooses on red, and Warwick University's Where's the Fridge on blue. So both teams have put some really great performances so far in this tournament. Be interesting to see how they match up against each other. So this is game 1, which is the 3v3 freestyle. No restrictions on how people play, just a straight up game of HADO. So nice play from both sides, slight edge here from Warwick against the Mongooses. Both teams going for firepower builds, a mix of assassin and technician roles there, but no defenders. Nice dodging evasion movement coming through from Mongooses, but Warwick really starting to pile the pressure on here. Nice little fight back there from Mongooses. Still plenty of time for them to pull this game back though. 2 points down, just over 20 seconds left to play. 1 point down, Mongooses doing a fantastic job of pulling this back. It's one of the things we tend to see. The experienced teams know how much these matches can flip. And how easy it is to really put the pressure on, especially towards the end of the match, and start to pull things back. So they don't tend to get rattled by being down earlier in the gameplay. But a great performance there from Warwick, finishing off that as 9 points to 6. So early lead for Warwick. Great fight back from Mongooses, but a strong finish there from the Warwick players. Really good accuracy there coming from Warwick at 46.6%. And a good rate of fire there as well, with 70 shots coming out from their lead player. Well, charge rate 5, 70 is good, but it can be better. So there can be more efficiency there. All right, prepping up now for game 2. Game 2 is the scale 1 match, so players can't spend any points on their bullet scale stat, so we generally see that everything gets moved here onto shot speed and charge rate. So lots of small but fast moving projectiles flying around, generally a lower score rate due to the fact that we're looking at, you can't get the one-shot kills on the size 1 shots, and we also get then restricted elements from there, so they basically they have to chip away the opposing team's life markers rather than be able to get those straight kills. So it just takes longer to take a player out. It's a lower point score. It also means that if one team starts to get a bit of a lead, it's much harder for the other team to sort of fight back and try and pull it square. So this game is really all about your accuracy. Teams that can do well in the scale 1 games tend to hit very high accuracy levels in the standard matches. Because fundamentally, if you can hit your target with a really small shot, it's much easier to hit it with a much larger shot. So just waiting for our 100-second cooldown clock to finish ticking down, and then we'll be good to go into game 2. So last minute adjustments for the teams, just getting themselves prepped. So I'm just waiting on the final Mongoose player. Darren, and looks like we're up to time, and hopefully game on any second. Here we go, game on. Nice little opening barrage of shots here. Avoid a piece. First 10 seconds. It's very tempting in all these games to try and focus on the person up ahead of you, but Mongoose is doing a good job there of focus firing onto a single player. So those smaller shots, they're harder to hit the target, they're easier to evade. Putting barrels of shots into a single person definitely ups your chances of scoring that point. Mongoose Mongooses starting to edge ahead here as we come towards the halfway point. Their tactic of concentrating fire all on a single opponent is definitely helping rack those points up. Warwick needing to get some more points on the board very soon. Nice work there from Warwick. Pulling it back to even. 20 seconds left to play. Still holding us even. 5 points apiece. Going for the final few seconds and final run now. Generally, you're going to see a bit of a sprint finish that gets into the last 10 seconds because whatever you got left, you might as well use it. 6 points apiece now. Warwick just ahead by a point. Can Mongooses do it? No, Warwick take it. 7 points to 6. Really nice game there. Sort of nice fluctuating back and forth between the two. Good fight backs. Really great use of that concentrated fire from Mongooses early on. That was helping them get ahead on the point score. But Warwick managed to break that pattern, and Mongooses never quite managed to re-establish it properly in order to keep that going. A nice accuracy all round there. Obviously, it's never very high. This one we've had a couple of exceptions throughout the tournament where people have jumped into like the 30 plus level, generally sort of like teens through the 20s. It's a fairly standard sort of accuracy percentage for the scale 1 matches. So, prepping up now for game 3. Game 3 is our 2v2 freestyle. So, we've seen Warwick do exceptionally well at this. See, again, it's hardly a new format for Mongooses, so interesting to see how the play goes. Warwick have been performing really well in this tournament so far. I think Mongooses, as many of our teams, are going to have to really start up in their game because these newer teams that are starting to come through into the leagues have got a huge amount of energy and skill, and they're really pushing these more experienced teams now to up the game, which fundamentally can only be a good thing for the sport overall. Okay, players just finishing their prep. So 2v2 freestyle, just that, no restrictions on how you play, but obviously there's only 2 of you, not 3. We don't tend to see shield players in these games, tend to be more firepower orientated. Not that shields couldn't work in the games, but they just don't tend to be as prevalent as in the 3-player team setups. So we're getting ready to go now. Best tactic we've ever seen here, though, is definitely that concentrated fire, two onto one, and then flicking back out again, so bouncing both ways as we go. Here we go. Game on. Opening points for both teams. Nice movement, nice play. Good teamwork coming out there from Mongooses. Both folks firing onto the same player on the Warwick team. He's done a great job of evasion though. Managed to allow his teammate to get some blindside shots in onto Mongooses. 4 points apiece. Coming up on the halfway mark. Mongooses swapping positions there, trying to mix it up a bit for their opponents. Two teams staying very much within close range of each other on the points. Still very easy for this to go either way. Constant 1-for-1 on the point scoring there. Warwick managing to open that to a 2-point lead for a short period of time, and Mongooses bringing it straight back. So 10 seconds left to play. 1 point in between the two teams. 2 points in now. 3 points. Warwick are really starting to get this idea of this last 10-second sprint in, and that sort of power finish there. And they're really starting to get their head into how to pull that off. Absolutely even up until those last few seconds, and then just pulling it out of Mongooses' reach as we finish off. So that's the first 3 games of this series to Warwick University. And yeah, 47.8% accuracy there, and 39 respectively from the 2 Warwick players. Really, really good. I mean, great play from Mongooses, but Warwick just definitely getting the edge here on the accuracy. Just keeping themselves just that little bit more, that little bit calmer in their motions and movement, so they can keep the tracking from the headsets locked onto target more. Moving back to 3v3. And we are moving into the Shields game. So it's the Shields 8. The team must spend a minimum of 8 points on Shields across their team. Now, previously we've seen Mongooses tried to go with this with 2 rank 5 shielders, so a total of 11 points across the 3 players, which didn't work out too well for them. I think it limited their firepower too much. Be interesting to see if that's a tactic they're going to stick with, see if they get to work correctly, or whether they're going to revert back to a more standard single heavy shielder, and then shield takedown, high charge rate, and so forth, style abilities across the other players. Warwick previously played a fairly standard meta on this, going on a 5 shielder, a 2 shielder, and a 1 shielder, with high charge rates on the 1 and the 2 shielder players. There is, of course, obviously nothing that prevents you putting a charge rate of 3 on your rank 5 shielder, and then 1's for shot speed and scale, which just leaves them in the position there of both putting up shields but also attacking enemy shields. They're not really going to likely to hit a player with that, but it can be very useful to give them that sort of dual role. Here we go. HADO fight. Let's see where we've gone for some large slow shots coming out of Warwick. Interesting mix there. So, yep, Mongooses again have gone for this double heavy shield tactic. Be interesting to see where they go there, if they can make that work. They've tried it previously against RGN, couldn't quite get it to work. Be interesting to see whether it's going to give them a good work. Currently they are 2 points up, so it's proving much more successful this round than previous attempts. Let's see if they can keep this momentum going. I'd say that if anything, they're relying on the lower experience levels that Warwick have as a team. Although Warwick are pulling it back now 2-2. Generally, you tend to see the less experienced teams having the same discipline and focus firing on the shields to get rid of them, which tends to give the shielding team a bit more of an advantage for getting those shots in. But you really want to see, especially the number of shields going out, you want to see a bigger point score lead there for Mongooses. Just a single point in it, 2 points in it now. 1 point again, going to the last 3 seconds. Mongooses on track here for their first win. Yes, they are. So that is 5 points to 4. It's the first game down for Mongooses. Nice play. I'm still not convinced on that double shield tactic, but it worked for them this time around. I think it does just limit their firepower too much, and in limiting firepower, you limit your point scoring capacity too greatly. And definitely the teams they've been up against both times where they've tried this have found ways to angle the shots around behind the shields. So even when those shields are up and in play, they're still managing to score points. Doesn't give a great deal of benefit, and obviously also once they've identified who the shooter is, if they can focus fire the shooter and keep them locked out, it totally negates Mongooses' capacity to score points. Okay, moving now to Game 5. Game 5 is the 1v1 freestyle. So generally, high shot speed, high shot scale, low charge, no shields are expected meta here. Lots of movement around the pitch, lots of evasion, generally very low point scoring, and in the majority of cases, the person that gets that first point on the board tends to take these matches. Once you get that little bit of momentum going, it's very hard for the other player to come back. Well, it doesn't happen, as was proved in the Barnsley game earlier, where the player managed to drop his wrist device, went 2 points down whilst he was recovering it, and then finished the match 4 points to 2 up. Players just finishing their prep. Just waiting for that 100-second recovery clock to finish ticking down. Yeah, should be a nice match this one. Very experienced 1v1 player on the court for Mongooses, and Warwick's 1v1 player has been showing a lot of really good agility, moved, and sort of instinctive feel around the court as we watched their games so far, and also their training matches leading up to this. Here we go, HADO fight. Nice evasion movement from both players there coming through. Got some initial clips onto Mongooses. Nothing hasn't landed yet on Warwick. That's the first point to Warwick. 20 seconds down. Mongooses really need to get that point score back in now. Get it fairly rapidly. Good work. No, not lost any life markers at this point. Both down markers coming up on the halfway mark, 1 point apiece. Nice movement and evasion coming from both players there. Mongooses using height nicely to shift up and down between those incoming shots. Got shield coming in there. No strength behind the shield, but it can be enough just to break up that flow of shots from your opponent, especially as they tend to have low charge rates in these games. That shield can last longer than it really has any right to. 10 seconds remaining. Warwick ahead by a point. Good use of shield from Warwick there. Makes it a real difficult one for Mongooses to fight back. So going to have to waste a whole load of shots in those last few seconds. And a fantastic piece of floor work there to evade that final shot. So that's 2 points to 1 in favour of Warwick University's Where's the Fridge. A lovely finishing manoeuvre there. I think it was really nice. I thought there was every chance that final shot was going to take him, but that little spin across the floor completely shifted him out of the way of the incoming fire. Be nice to see how they go with that as they move forwards. Okay, prepping now for Game 6. Game 6 is the HADO 20. So here we have our each player normally has 6 bonus points to spend on their abilities, so a total of 18 points across the team to add to the 1 point they all get in every ability. So 12 points that they get for free. So there's normally a total of 30 levels of abilities of ability points spent across the 3 players. In the HADO 20, there can only be a maximum of 20. So they have to have 10 of their bonus points unspent across the team. But you can't spend more than 6 on an individual player. Standard meta we're starting to see here coming in League 1 is 1 firepower player, 1 player with no points, and 1 player with shields 3, but nothing else. League 2 has tended much more towards firepower rather than taking that shielder player. But as this is the last game of the tournament in this league, obviously they've seen each other play multiple matches up to this point, and they've also been watching how the other teams play. Okay, just wait for the 100-second clock to finish looking down. And here we go. Nice opening shots there from Mongooses. So Mongooses have gone with the League 1 meta there, so firepower and shields, whereas Warwick have gone much more on a straight firepower build. So 1 point apiece, initial shields going up there from Mongooses. Now normally shields obviously get focus fired quite rapidly, although the shields you'll be able to put up here aren't particularly powerful. They are causing problems for the opposition in breaking up play, because obviously they've got quite low charge rates, so it does take time for them to knock through those shields. 2 point lead at the moment, 3 point lead now coming through. Nice work here from Mongooses. 4 point lead. If they can keep this going So they'll have this one in the bag. The introduction of those shields there, just slowing Warwick down enough, soaking up enough of their firepower to really get Mongooses get some headway and move ahead on the point score. Great groundwork there from Mongooses evading those shots. And that finishes that game 7 points to 5. Nice play there, good tactics from Mongooses. And Warwick just not really having that that discipline to get rid of those shields fast enough with those lower charge rates, and not able to pull it back quickly enough. 45.9% accuracy there at Mongooses. That's not shabby at all. Really nice there. Low shot score, but the shots provided were counting, which is really good to see. Teams now in their final round of prep and tactics and discussion, getting ready for game 7. And game 7 is back to the 3v3 freestyle. So be interested to see whether they both go for the same build setups as for game 1, or whether they've learnt a bit more about each other's play styles over the course of the 6 games that they've played, whether they're going to add or tweak or change anything from those original builds. Obviously, Warwick won the match 1, so Mongoose is very much out there to try and take game 7 back. So it'd be interesting to see whether they what they change around, what they leave the same. And this is the final game of the final match of League 2 today. So both teams are fairly tired at this point. So be interesting to see whether their choice of tactics reflect that, whether we start to see shields coming through that will take the pressure off people a little, or whether they're going to go all out in a blaze of glory of firepower. Okay, and here we go. Game 7. HADO fight. Testing shots coming through from Warwick, I think they're quite high. Mongoose is dropping low to evade those fairly easily. Get aggressive on the front line there, trying to really push. Get his first points on the board, but it's Warwick with the first point here. 2-1 now. 2-2. Mongoose is pulling it back nicely. Warwick answering that call straight away. 30 seconds played. 3-all now. Nice play from both teams. Dangerous stepping that centre point on the court. Can't always see it from a spectator perspective, but the centre line, especially the sort of central 3-metre section of it, is incredibly dangerous zone to enter into, because you walk in, you've not only got shots that are aimed at yourself, you're walking into the shots that are aimed at your teammates as well, so you're running into crossfire. So it's a very dangerous point of the pitch to enter into. 7 points apiece here, closing in for the last 10 seconds. Now Warwick have managed a really good sort of finishing flurry in previous games in these closing few seconds. Are they going to be able to do it again? Yes, they are. 9 points to 7 on game 7. So that is an overall match win to Warwick University's Where's the Fridge? But nice play, good, really good flow and play there from Mongooses. And as ever, like, share, subscribe. That is the end of League 2, and we'll be moving on to the Championship next.